live pregame show. Just depends on how things shake up. So I was able to go live. I decided I'm gonna go ahead, go live, talk to the family before the game, get some hype going, things like that. We got a halftime hangout. Gonna have a post game show. You're getting 3 for today, 4 if you count the video I posted earlier today. So it is what it is. I know there may not be a lot of people in the stream because it's all of a sudden, so I'm letting it give it a chance to build up, see who shows up and whatnot. This game tonight, our Bulls, for anyone who's watching after the fact, our Bulls need to have a big showing tonight for a couple of reasons. One of those reasons is just, to get back on track, to have a win under the belt and a good game on both sides of the ball, heading into a very important game against the Brooklyn Nets. I really want to see the Bulls come in and be able to dominate in this game. They should be able to. Pistons 29th ranked offense, 22nd ranked defense. The Bulls should be able to come in and do their thing. That's what it boils down to. The Bulls should be able to come in and do their goddamn thing. Bulls defensive rating right now is at 13th. We know we've been having a bad stretch of defensive games. We were 5th at one point in the season. We need to really tighten that up. And this is what a game that I hope to see that get back on track for the Chicago Bulls as well. 5th ranked offense. So considering Detroit Pistons are the 22nd ranked defense, the Bulls should be able, theoretically, on paper, to show up and do a lot of great things tonight. But as we know, this is the NBA. The Pistons have gotten a couple of wins against teams that people wouldn't have predicted them to be in. They're coming in with some momentum. You really want to see the Bulls come in, step on the Pistons' throats today, and let that be what it is. Let that be what it is. Game is it's at 8 p.m. Eastern time, so that's 7 p.m. Central. I don't know what time zone everyone's in. What's up, Haize? Just got off. Keep up the grind, brother. Thank you. And YouTube is hating on me. So one thing that I've noticed, so if you guys notice, and I don't really track views, it's all about the experience and everything to me, but my last couple of videos have gotten considerably less views than normal, and it's because, so I'm subscribed on it from my other channels that for some reason YouTube's just not pushing out notifications for me lately. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because we've gained literally just in January so far. Keep in mind, we're only 11 days into January. We've gained almost 1,000 subscribers in those 11 days. And I don't know if it's because of the amount of subscribers the channel's getting in in a condensed amount of time, if they think it's a scam thing or something like that. So I just noticed that YouTube isn't really pushing out my videos and notifying everyone the last couple of videos, but it'll come back. It all ends up working out in the video. Games at 7, games at 8 p.m. Eastern, so 7 p.m. Central is what I believe the time is today. Now, tomorrow's game against Brooklyn is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, game's at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So we got about 50 minutes before the game. What's going on, Big Skunk? Thank you for joining. Hey, it's cooking some tacos and waiting on this game. Yeah, already ate with the kids. This is my night to have the kids. Usually when I have the kids, because for those who don't know, I have shared 50-50 physical and custodial custody of my children. So they're here half the time. And usually when I have them, especially during the week, I'm probably not going to be able to do a pregame show. But we got everything done early today. We got dinner together early. We finished eating. Everybody's ready for bed. Everybody's homework's done. So I was like, hey, let me go holler at the family before this game. Everyone asks this all the time. We don't know. They haven't said anything. At the end of the day, they'll announce it when they announce it. Right now, he's still in health and safety protocols. We haven't gotten any word that he's exited the health and safety protocols. I think the injury still would have kept him out even if it wasn't for health and safety. So we'll see. AC has not been clear. Yep, has not been cleared from protocols yet. Hopefully they get a big lead going in the fourth and are able to rest some key stars. That's what like I said before, by midway through the third quarter, this game should be completely out of hand. Our starters should be able to sit the whole fourth quarter down. That's what I'm hoping, right? But again, this is the NBA. You never know how things may go. By the way, check out the hoodie. I love this hoodie because it combines, hold on, let me move this. It combines my two favorite things, the Bulls and Star Wars. You see that? Let the Force be with us. One of my favorite hoodies ever. I'm mad that it's starting to fade out. I'm going to have to try to see if I can find another one of these. It's like a collector's item. Torian, evening, Haize, and everyone. What's going on, my brother? Thank you for joining an impromptu live stream. Important week for us. Man, we'll go 3-2 this week. Well, hopefully we go more than that. But yes, this is a very important week for the Chicago Bulls. Nationally, I talked about it in my video today. For nothing else, right? All-Star voting, keep in mind, the Bulls haven't had a lot of nationally televised games. So a lot of casual NBA fans that do still vote, as far as the fan voting, if they don't get to see players on national TV, they watch highlights or whatever else, but we know how the national media has been covering us. So since we have nationally televised games against two marquee opponents in the Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors, the Bulls and how they show up in those two games, we can see a drastic change and an uptick in our players' all-star voting. On top of that, like just at how everything goes, of course, over the course of the season, we can see a lot of new Bulls fans pop in and hop on the bandwagon as well. Having national televised games, especially when you don't have a lot in your schedule, is very, very important for things like that. So we got to keep that in mind. Don't forget, national media conversation and storylines also drives home after season awards. As much as, we're still early in the season and you may not think about that type of thing, is that postseason awards. Again, you get those storylines going into that when you have nationally televised games. So a player like Kobe White, who we talked about, can he win most improved player with the way that he's been playing? If Kobe White shows up, keep in mind, for people who haven't watched a lot of Bulls games, who only casually watch basketball or, they watch whatever's televised because they don't have league pass or stuff like that. They're not in Chicago. They can't see a lot of Bulls games. If they see Kobe White balling the hell out and seeing this player be a different player than what he was last time they saw him, those type of things are huge for national media games. So on top of the storylines of just the Bulls facing the stiffer and upper echelon competition of the NBA, that casual fan conversation, that all-star voting conversation, that makes it a even more important week for the Bulls. On top of that, we know what the matchups already mean to the Bulls, right? We know what those two matchups mean to the Bulls. If they can come out of these matchups playing great, winning the games, it's going to be a big week for the Bulls. The Bulls have face Detroit today, Brooklyn Wednesday, Golden State Friday, Boston on Saturday. That's a lot of games in a condensed amount of time. Then we turn around and face Memphis on Monday, which Memphis is also playing great right now. Ja Morant is showing that he is, hey, listen, Ja is showing some things. So all those things combined, and that game's also on TNT. That's another nationally televised game. So we have, like, in the span of the next 7 days, we have 3 nationally televised games, and we don't have another nationally televised games until February 9th against Charlotte. Now, the Phoenix Suns game, which is February 7th, is on NBA TV. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the NBA tries to pull something with that as well, but we'll see what's going on with that. And then we face the Bucks March 4th. That's our next nationally televised game. After that, the Bulls do not have a lot of nationally televised games, so these type of things are very important as the season goes on. I get no notifications. I was just sitting on the computer. See, and I don't know what's going on with that. I really don't know what's going on with that. It's out of my control. All I can do is keep creating amazing content and hope that we continue to grow. And that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. And, looking at it objectively, if I was YouTube or whatever YouTube's algorithm is, you have this channel, right, that has no big name on it, nothing like that, that is literally growing exponentially. Like, keep in mind, we've doubled our subscribers in less than a month. And because of that, they probably are looking at like, hey, what's going on with this channel here? So we'll see. We'll keep it up. We'll see what's going on. MC Season, what up, fam? What's going on, my brother? What's going on? What's up, Haize? Big week for the Bulls, and I couldn't be happier for the challenge ahead. Listen, I'm one of those people, like, wins mean nothing if it's just against bad competition. I want to see how our team stacks up against the best teams in the league. And yeah, we get them in back-to-back games. Not back-to-back nights, thank God, but back-to-back games. And we're really going to see, it's going to be a measuring stick week for the Bulls. And then to have Memphis on top of that, how they deal with that, what happens with Caruso. The Bulls have a lot of storylines going on. And for doubters, we get to prove a lot more of them wrong, hopefully a lot sooner. DeMar going for 40 tonight. From your mouth to God's ears, my brother. I think Ayo's going to have a big night tonight. Finally made one of your lives. Been really enjoying your videos, bro. Hey, bro, I appreciate you, Real World 1100. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the family here, man. Hopefully, you continue to be able to catch more. With Dad, love to see it. Losses to Brooklyn and Milwaukee have helped us without playing. Yes, they definitely have. Bulls are firmly 2 spots into first place if we beat Brooklyn. And now the standings have changed some too. I think, didn't Milwaukee drop from like 3rd to like 4th as well? Something happened with the standings. Let me look up the standings real quick. Impromptu live, I'm a little bit more laid back. So yeah, Miami Heat are actually 3rd right now with the Milwaukee Bucks a half game behind them in the 4th spot. Listen, the East is heating up. Even Cleveland, right? Cleveland is the 6th seed right now. Who would have thought that coming into this season? Boston Celtics number 10. It's going to be a very interesting year in the Eastern Conference and the NBA as a whole, for sure. Detroit might try to go hard against us, but we should still win. Detroit is coming for next. Keep in mind, Detroit is playing free, right? They don't have any expectations. People aren't expecting them to do anything this season. They have a rookie on their squad who is looking like he's going to be fucking good, right? But I want and I hope to see Ayo guard Cade on some possessions just to, I'm petty. It is what it is. Hey, so come on, man. Don't ever ask me that. I'm always betting on Bulls. I'm always betting on the Bulls. Always. Bulls are getting a lot of views, mostly from YouTubers doing highlight reaction videos. Yeah, I mean, it is, but that's still not the same, right? Even they've showed up on highlights on ESPN. The difference is not just about views. It's about people actually getting to take in the game. It's cool to get highlight videos, right? But somebody who only gets to watch, let's say they only watch about 10 or 15 actual games a year, and they only watch what's on ESPN because that's what they have. They may have TNT too, but for those people who only get to see that very minute number of games, a full game is completely different than just watching, because bad teams can have highlights. Being able to watch a team on national TV and see them play great throughout a whole game, that really changes some things for casuals, right? Not for us, people like doing things like us, but it's different. We wanted national recognition. We got it now. We got to show up and play well. That's what it boils down to, for sure, my brother. My boy Haize, what up? What up, gang? What's going on, Darius, man? Thank you for joining this impromptu live. The bench needs to come through this week. Listen, everyone needs to. But we still have a depleted bench. We still have a player starting on the bench who would be, start in the starting lineup who would be on the bench. We're still missing Caruso, but we'll see. This thing is next man up. It is what it is. Got to watch out for the trap game. That's all. Then get worried about Brooklyn tomorrow. Listen, if they're looking too far ahead to Brooklyn, they're going to lose this game. We need them to stay focused, right? To be locked in, to play the way that we know that they can play. We need that all today, all of it. Shay in the building. Ayo's going to take this matchup personal tonight. Hey, I don't know if he's going to take it personal, but I hope that he just plays great, right? I hope that he just plays great. Great channel, my guy. Go Bulls, see red off the wall. Thank you, Paul Smith. I appreciate you, bro. Smear 60. I messing with you, homie. Hey, man. I'll be locked in when I'm doing these streams. I don't even pay attention to it being a joke, man. Yo, Haize, great job, brother. I'm a huge fan. Thinking 4-1 this week. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, my brother. Kyrie Irving isn't playing tomorrow. I think he got hurt really bad. Wait, I haven't read that at all. I haven't read that at all. Wow. Did Kyrie's not playing? That changes some things. But even with that being said, I mean, Brooklyn was still, top of the East for a long time without Kyrie. So it doesn't really change as much as far as it still being an important matchup for the Bulls. But I mean, it does make things easier. It does definitely make things easier. I'm checking their injury report right now. Let's see. He's listed as day-to-day and questionable versus Bulls. Seeing teams are petty with the way they do the injury report. I hope that the Bulls do that sometimes too. Is that they list, like, Luka was listed as questionable up until like 2 hours before the game. So it being questionable, I take that with a grain of salt, man. It kind of is what it is there, but we'll see. We'll see. Yes, Caruso is still in protocols. He is still in protocols. It should be a 15 to 20 point win tonight. Should be, right? Should be. You would expect that. You would definitely expect that. We have to win tonight and carry the momentum into tomorrow. Yes, you want to see them do a lot of good things. Ball movement, all the good stuff, all the things that we know they need to do great and then make them more dangerous. You want to see them do that, carry that forward into the game tomorrow, for sure. Casey Johnson said Caruso is out and still in protocols. Do you think he will play tomorrow or Friday? How does having him play versus having him out affect our team's level of play? Here's the thing with Caruso. I mean, we need him in both games. I would not be surprised because if I remember correctly, COVID protocol window is now 6 days. I think the 6 days would technically be up today. So they may just not announce it, or he could be still hurt. Who knows? Zach LaVine got cleared the day before he came back. So we'll see what happens with that. I hope that he's back for sure. If not, definitely by Golden State, because we're going to need all hands on deck for that for sure. But how the team plays without, if Kobe and Ayo can continue their rhythm that they're building together, being that offensive defensive punch, and both of them being able to bring offense and defense just to different levels depending who's out there. I mean, depending on how good they're playing. I think we're going to be fine stacking up guard-wise against the Brooklyn Nets, even without Caruso. Again, nobody's going to say we're going to stop Kyrie, we're going to stop Harden. I also think Lonzo's going to be out to prove something. He was frustrated last game. Lonzo was very, very frustrated last game. So I think we're going to see locked-in Lonzo as well. And the Bulls, don't get me wrong, the Bulls know what this matchup means. They're going to come out trying to execute. Now, hopefully the moment doesn't get to them. Again, having a younger team where, most of the games in Zach LaVine's career haven't mattered to a degree. So, again, I don't expect it to hurt us, but there's a chance that it could be. And let the stage get to a couple of players, and then it completely changes some things. So we'll see. But I trust this team. I trust the makeup of this team. I think, especially against Brooklyn, they're going to make it an ugly defensive game down the stretch. I think that game is going to turn really, really ugly for both teams, right? In down the stretch of that game in crunch time. And the Golden State Warriors, man, we got so blown. The Golden State Warriors are almost so unstoppable on paper in the way that they play. I don't even know. I would say much like that, they're going to have to kind of focus on the defense, right? If you can frustrate, right, or even slow them down because you can't stop them. If you can slow them down in any way on defense, and we can handle the ball on offense, get ball movement going, get some easy shots, it's still going to be – I think that's going to be a very high-scoring game, right? I think that both teams are going to score over 120 points in the game against Golden State Warriors. So that's kind of my long-about thought process on that. The thing about the Bulls is that we haven't even played our best basketball yet, and we have the 1 seed. That is a very good point. We can still get better. Keep in mind, though, Brooklyn as well. Their big three have only played 17 games together, ever. So there's not a lot. I think we forget sometimes that there is not a lot of tape or not a lot of, I don't know the word I'm looking for. There's just not a lot of statistics out there for how good or bad they are when all three of their big three are playing together, because they've played less than 20 games together. I think that's in the right. I don't know if that's counting playoffs or not, but just keep that in mind. That's not that very many games. That is less games than what our team now has played together. So yes, the Bulls still have a very lot of room to grow, but unfortunately, and I hate to say this, the Brooklyn Nets do too. So we'll see. Harden also missed their last game, but they think they held them out of that game specifically to get ready for the Chicago Bulls. And I kind of talked about that in my video today. Nikola Vucevic better try to break the back of Isaiah Stewart. Hey, just don't break his back. Break his emotions, break him mentally, break him spiritually. Have that man so frustrated that after the game, he questions if he even wants to play in the NBA anymore. That's what I want. Kyrie said he's playing. I thought so. I didn't expect Kyrie to miss that game. Just check. Harden and Kyrie are listed as questionable for the Bulls game. Yep. Trap game. It absolutely can be a trap game for sure. Super Team VIP. If they play solid ball with good movement and the bench mob shows up, we are hard to beat. Yes, absolutely. That's the thing. We are extremely hard to beat. Extremely hard to beat when we are moving the ball and getting those easy shots, because it can rain down from anyone, from 1 to 5, right? Every player on our team can hit threes, especially if they're open. I said in their team, in our starting 5. And then let Ayo get going defensively and offensively. Let Kobe get going offensively. Just that alone is hard for a lot of teams to match up with. Not to throw in the defensive intensity of Javonte Greenwood is here, the defensive versatility of Lonzo and Alex Caruso, Ayo's improved confidence defensively, Kobe's improved defense. We have a very, very dangerous squad. Very dangerous squad. What's up, Haize? Is it okay to give the callers a free link to call to all NBA games? If it's to give callers a free link, what do you mean a free link? I don't know what you mean by that, Marv. I'm lost, bro. I'm lost. Jeremy Grant is out tonight. We need AC. We need AC, period. But yeah, for sure. I was definitely up there with one of the greatest steals of the draft. Hey, and I've said this before. He is such a great steal, it can get very, very difficult for the Bulls to keep him. That's all I'm saying. And again, I know people will bring in, but he's from Chicago and all that. All that is fine and sounds good, right? And it could very well be what keeps him here. And if his ties to the city and to this franchise and the fact that what he feels here, and if we're a championship contender, let's hope that all that weighs as heavily to him and his agent as it does as we think it will. Because I'm telling you, he's making less than $1 million this year. If look at it, look at Wesley Matthews, look at Gilbert Arenas, second round picks that only have 2 years deals, and the Bulls can't go. Keep in mind, the Bulls cannot go over the salary cap to sign him. They have to sign him in whatever cap room that they have. So for people who are like saying, let's trade for another $20 million contract, then you might as well kiss Ayo goodbye. Our biggest chance of keeping him is letting the players on this team develop and hoping that whatever the Bulls can offer him, he doesn't even consider other offers. Because I'm telling you, Ayo keeps playing like this. And a very good comparison, not in the way that they play, but I'm talking about in impact, is Gilbert Arenas. The Warriors could not they couldn't even offer him a contract because they could not go over the salary cap to keep him. We better hope that Ayo's ties to this franchise, this city, the front office, being on a contending team is as important as what we think it's going to be, as we hope it's going to be. Because I'm telling you, all it takes is one team to say, Ayo, we want Ayo to be our franchise starting point guard, and offer him $15 to $18 million a year, and his agent being in his ear. Listen, that changes a lot of things. Bro, did you see Klay drop 17 points in 20 minutes? And also, listen, Klay is back, right? And it seems like, as of the sample size that we have right now, that he is back fully. That is dangerous for the league. Thank God we're not in the Western Conference, right? Thank God we're not. We don't have to see Golden. Keeping this is what I'll say. After we face them this week, the only other way that we can face the Golden State Warriors is if it's in the NBA Finals. So let's hope and pray that we do face the Golden State Warriors again, because that would mean it's in the NBA Finals. That's all I'm going to say with that. JDH in the building. We need AC back ASAP. Without AC, opposition averages 111 points. With AC, well, see, that's the thing, though. Those numbers are we're still missing players other than AC. People use the AC comparison. I think that's still without other players being out too. But don't get me wrong. AC is absolutely a key, important cog in whatever the fuck we do. Whatever we do. However far we want to go. AC is important in that, in everything that we do, for sure. My guy Haize, what we going to do about the pick and roll defense? Shoot motherfuckers. No, but seriously, pick and roll defense was terrible against Dallas. The Bulls have, over the course of the season, played pretty good pick and roll defense. Not to the level of what we saw against Dallas. So hopefully they get that shit together very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Claxton questionable, Harden questionable, Kyrie questionable, Aldridge out, Harris out. Listen. I'm not scared of Brooklyn Nets because Vucevic can be guarded by anybody. And if you think about the games we've won against Brooklyn, we didn't have Kobe. Yeah, I mean, good point there. Do you think Lonzo Ball is going to make James Harden his you-know-what tomorrow? I don't know if he's going to guard him. If Kyrie is out there, I think you have to put Lonzo on Kyrie. I think you take your shot at Zach LaVine guarding Harden, and Zach LaVine being an improved defender. Then again, it's team defense more than one-on-one defense, but I think you leave Lonzo and Kyrie, at least in the first half, right? Unless you see Harden going off and then you switch and then hope Kyrie doesn't start going off. But I think it's going to be Lonzo and Kyrie to start that game. Won't be surprised if the Bulls come out mad and trying to run the Pistons out of the use. Listen, they're at home. They're playing the team that is very much should be not as good competition. The Bulls need to put their foot on Detroit's neck this game. Now, the last time I said the Bulls needed to do that, I can't remember. I think it was Orlando, and we saw how that went. But the Bulls need to show the fuck up. Period, point blank. The Bulls need to show up in a way that sends a message tonight. That sends a message. That sends anyone who doubts us, anything like that, they need to send a message tonight. But again, they need to make sure they're not exerting too much energy, but they need to still get the win. So we'll see. The Bulls have some tough stretches. And don't sleep on Boston either. Even though that Boston game is the game after Golden State, that is the trap game to me, because they're going to be expending a lot of energy to beat Golden State. And then if they do beat Golden State, I'm sure it's going to be exhausting. But then to keep Golden State's at home, but then to leave, go into Boston and face a team that's probably going to be trying to show, hey, we are still a force to be reckoned with. That's the trap game this week. If I had to pick any game to be a trap game, this Detroit game, I hope, and I don't consider this to be a trap game because they've had some space. That's the game I think is going to be the trap game. So be on the lookout for that one. Smear 60, Kyrie is playing. Yep. I thought you need to be vaxxed to be in arenas in Chicago now in regards. No, that is only to spectators. That is only to fans that come to watch the game. They have to be vaxxed, not the opposing team's players. It's a weird rule, but it is what it is. Ayo and LaVine are staying. I'm certain of this. Hey, from your mouth to God, just like I said, it's just, I'm just looking at it I'm talking, that's why I eliminated all the, oh, he's from Chicago. I'm eliminating all this out the talk. I'm looking just at the financials, right? Since the Bulls can't go over the cap, that means if the Bulls only have $2 million underneath the cap, that's all they can offer him. Now, I think they can use their exception to sign him too, I believe. So if they have the full mid-level exception, what's the mid-level exception? That's about $7-8 million, I think is what the mid-level exception is, maybe less than that. So if they can offer him that, okay, we'll see. And they'll probably give him a 2-2, right? A 2-year deal that allows him to save bird rights and then get a bigger contract the next time. But I'm telling you, if a team offers him $15 million, listen, that's over double what the Bulls are probably going to be offering. That's, like I said, if they can even use the mid-level to sign him. It's going to get interesting. That's all I can say. It's going to get interesting. Vucevic resigns for Vucevic, yeah. We're not even talking about Vuce. I think Vuce, again, at that point he'll be a 33-year-old player, a center, which at that point they start degrading very fast. He's not going to get that $20 million a year again. So I'd hope that he stays with the Bulls, and they probably can work out something around the $10-11 million range, but we'll see. But I trust Vuce is going to resign, especially if we're contending. I mean, to watch all of the games, Haize. We got to ease with ball. It's not, I've talked about that heavily. I don't want to really go into that again. I think the Bulls going to keep the Pistons 85 points or lower. We've kept them, I think, under 90 points or at 90 points the first two times we faced them. So that's a good point, Darius. And I think the defense, we're going to, hungry Billy Ben telling these dudes they got to start clamping. For sure. Didn't know Agent Zero was a second-round pick. Talk of being undervalued. He was a second-round pick, got drafted by the Warriors. He was starting by the end of that first season with the Warriors. Then I think he started about 70 games or so in the second season. By the end of that, and he said that he used a coin toss to figure out which team he was going to re-sign with, but the Warriors were not even an option in that because they just could not go over the cap to keep him. Vooch starting to fall in love with the three ball, take 2 or 3 shots and get his big. Again, that's I think Ball Hawks. That's the design of the offense. I think that's what the offense is calling for him to do. Not necessarily all his decision. They feed him in the post early, and then after that they turn him into a trailer and they start trying to get him threes. That's just what I think the offense is. Not necessarily him falling in love with it, but you could be right. I always say my opinion holds no more weight than anybody else. He posterized Larry. Larry needs to be posterized. Bulls are going to win today and tomorrow. Well, there you go, from your mouth to God's ears. Haize, how much cap room do we have? Well, keep in mind, we're over the cap team right now. That's what people are forgetting. Right now, we're over the cap. And then considering Zach LaVine signing a huge extension, we're going to probably still be over the cap. That's why I said if they can use their mid-level exception, of course, that gives more room to sign him. But overall, just looking, keep in mind, so next season, Vooch's contract comes off the books. We'll see what they do with Troy Brown Jr., see what they do with Darius Jones Jr. That's like $30-40 million right there just with the players that I named. So we'll see what they do. But a lot of that cap space, that's why I've been saying, right, as much as I'm not doing trade questions anymore, is that for everyone who's been saying the Bulls trade for a player that makes like $15-20 million, if you're saying that, if that's what you want, you can kiss Ayo goodbye. The Bulls just financially aren't going to be able to do it, especially because Caruso will still be on contract by then. Caruso will still be on contract. His contract won't fall off to the following season. So we'll see. Can you believe Nikola Vucevic averaging 1.1 blocks and steals a game? It's not surprising to me. Again, once I looked at the advanced analytics, Vuce finished 5th amongst all centers defensively last year. Again, he's not a great one-on-one defender, but it is what it is. Chicago, Sierra Transmission. Hey, shout out to Chicago. That's what I got to say. Lumazar Elias, I appreciate you for joining. Would you rather John Morant's missed dunks or WNBA's best dunks? John Morant's missed dunks. And that's not, I love women's basketball. I've already said it. Expect some Chicago Sky content on this channel because I watch WNBA, not as much as I watch NBA, because there's just not as many games. But I'm very heavy into the WNBA. I thought Harden's he is questionable, but again, that's even when they did it. I think even the coach, even Nash, even said then that they were preparing for the next game. So he's questionable, but questionable doesn't really mean anything. Alexis Garza, what are you trying to say? We have a great chance tomorrow since Kyrie. Listen, they're both playing. I think somebody already said that Kyrie said he is playing, and questionable means nothing. Questionable means nothing. Shay, I feel bad now because now I have Vincent Harris saying the exact thing I've been saying for a while. James Harden is Lonzo Ball's bitch. I mean, y'all are funny. That's what I'm saying. We got to pull away from this team so our guys can have enough energy for tomorrow. Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. Bulls can win Golden State in Milwaukee on Thursday. Hey, shout out to you. Will Ball play? He's listed as questionable, so we'll see. Boston is underrated. I don't get why people say they should get rid of Tatum or Brown. And if Boston, I'm building a friend. Yes, absolutely. Like, again, overreactions. We see it within our own Bulls community. It's out there in every sports community in general. People overreact. Yes, they're underperforming. And then people, of course, go, hey, you need to trade them. But it is what it is. They're not going to, let me not say they're not going to, because they very well could trade one of those two if they feel like they can get enough pieces back to kind of, but I don't see it. I think you build around those two guys. That's definitely what I think as well. I knew what you meant, brother. At least our next 3 games are at home so they can rest their bodies without travel. Yes, don't forget the homestand is very important. People saying that Zach is jealous of DeMar. Oh, listen, we're not getting into that. That was all bullshit. They're not jealous. That's not happening. Is Caruso making it to? We don't know. We don't know. I have done a call-in show before. I think I've done 2 call-in shows before. Somebody in the chat correct me. I know I've done at least 1, and I think I've done 2. Vucevic needs to stop getting down on himself after plays. Agree. Golden State's always over the cap, but they got no problem because they are a very high market team. Well, it's not just that. I'm not saying that the Bulls wouldn't. I'm talking about actual ability to with the cap. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that the Bulls would not offer Ayo as much money to keep him if they wanted to keep him. I'm just talking about, especially like this season, we hard capped ourselves. The Bulls hard capped themselves, which they do a lot because, again, we're not a franchise that typically paid the luxury tax. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Could the Bulls change the vaccine rules during the playoffs so Kyrie can't play? Oh, man. That would be petty, but I wouldn't be against it. Hopefully DeMar isn't struggling today. He's been struggling since the buzzer beaters. I wouldn't say he's been struggling since, but yeah, it's been. I would love you to do W. Oh, man, I love W. And the funny thing is, right? Let me not say it's funny, and I understand why. A lot of people don't really cover, at least from what I've been. Keep in mind, I wasn't a heavy YouTube watcher before I started this YouTube channel, but I just don't see a lot of, even with the Sky winning the title, like you just don't see a lot of dedicated channels to anything WNBA. So yeah, I wouldn't make my own the Sky their own channel, but I'm definitely going to be covering them here. Especially Bulls Nation. Yep, crispy cheese. Especially like these type of things, like post-game, halftime hangouts, and pre-game shows for Chicago Sky games, yes, you're getting those. Whenever I could do them, you're absolutely getting those at the bare minimum, because I love WNBA. Hey, man, we don't know. Everybody's asking that. I'm not answering any more questions about that. This one comes from Twitch. How many viewers do I have right now? I don't know how many you have. Do I have? I have no idea right now. Right now, it says I have 148 live. That's between Twitch and YouTube. Claxton and Harden won't play, I predict. Okay. Hey. All right. I got you. I mean, hey, we'll see. I think some fans need to understand we need to start beating teams with all their players playing. I don't want Brooklyn missing any players at all. I mean, yeah, I want to see us beat the best as well, for sure. Giannis would play good with Tatum. That's not going to happen. Hit that like button, Bulls fam. Yeah, hit the like button, goddammit. Do you see Chicago making some moves? Oh, I'm not doing trade talk. Anybody else in the chat will explain to you. And I don't mean to sound like an asshole with that, but I did my last video on anything trade talk related. I'm not really doing trade talk right now. Caruso better take some aspirin and get his ball-headed ass to Brooklyn tomorrow because we definitely need him to guard Kyrie if he's playing and Steph Curry. Hey, but the thing is, your team got to be able to do with that because what if some injury happens in the playoffs? It depends on the price tag that he's looking for. It depends on the price tag that he's looking for. That's what I'll say with that one. Tonight's score. Hey, I hope there's more than that, but hell, I'll take it. I'll take that. Don't be surprised if you see Russell Westbrook on the Philadelphia 76ers. Listen, I'm not doing trade talk, especially not when it's not about our team. Yeah, you should cover Sky, man. They are champions. Go Sky. God Sky. Hey, listen, you'll see some Sky content. When Caruso comes back, watch everyone pick up their hustle. That man is key for the listen. You don't want the ball-headed Mamba to come after you. Sucks that nobody really covered the Sky. The final series was really fun. Well, I'm here to fill that void for you. I guarantee you, I promise you, I will be covering the Sky. Maybe not at this level because it's just not as much usual conversation, but you will be getting consistent Sky content from me, especially after games. I don't know how big it'll be, but we're getting it. We're getting it. Wouldn't mind seeing more Haize and maybe touch a bell tonight. Haize is not on the team anymore. Haize Johnson is on the Washington Wizards. And Bell, I think his 10-day may be up, but we'll see with that. Make YouTube Kenny Bitcham as your guest. Hey, from you, I would not mind it at all. Kenny's a funny dude. Anthony Johnson, let's go Bulls for sure. Bradley needs some stick him on his hand. He's been a little bit better with that since he's been back from protocol. Haize, you said it would be petty as we made a vaccine mandate so Kyrie can't play in Chicago. Let's be honest, that team is bullshit. There's no reason why 3 top 10 players should be on the same team. Well, thank LeBron James for that, right? He completely changed that. And he made the NBA an arms race. Well, some people say Boston too, but, with Ben Simmons fit, and I don't know. I'm not talking about trade talk right now. Sorry, Reginald. We hate on LeBron for having super teams, but the Nets roster is ridiculous. I know Harden isn't playing well as of late, and their peak Kyrie, KD, and Harden all are top 8 players. And yeah, you're right. You're right. I mean, hey, it happened. WNBA and NBA champions will belong. Listen, Laxus, from your mouth to God. Do you know? Do you know the video Petty Roosevelt is going to have if the Chicago Bulls win an NBA? It doesn't matter when it happens. I'm letting y'all know it could happen 10 years from now. It can happen this year. It can happen 5 years. Whenever the Chicago Bulls, I can be old and gray. When the Chicago Bulls win another title, Petty Roosevelt's video is going to be the best video of all time. That's all I got to say with that. Let's see. This is actually a good question, Reginald, and one that I've talked about before. How would you structure LaVine's max deal? So I've talked about this a little bit on the stream before. So it depends. You can go one of 2 ways with it, right? It's multiple ways you can go with it. But the point that I'm going to make, you can go 1 or 2 ways. If you want to safeguard your future, right, in the sense that if the Bulls plan on keeping Patrick, plan on extending Kobe White, whoever else they draft, Ayo, whatever else, and down the road, you want the ability to re-sign those players and still have cap space to add, right? Because at that point, a lot of these older players will be gone. You front load LaVine's deal, meaning that his deal descends. He gets most money in those first couple years, and then it drops down every year after that. Because keep in mind, you already have big contracts in DeMar, you have big contracts in Vooch, everything else like that. And because the Bulls are probably going to be at the cap or over the cap at that point anyway, you front load that contract. That way, as those contracts fall off, Zach LaVine's contract is descending, so you actually get more money on top of those contracts falling off. Or you can go the other way with it. Because they made that, because they see, hey, we may need to sign somebody at our full mid-level next year. We know that we're going to re-sign Ayo when his deal is up at the end of next season, whatever else like that. You backload the contract, meaning that it starts off at a lesser amount, and then the back years of that increase as the contract goes on. It really just depends on how this team ends up structuring the contracts. Or if Zach wants it, you can also do the flat deal where it's the same amount basically every year, and you kind of flatten it out that way. It's a lot of different ways the Bulls can go. Again, AK and Eversley are a lot smarter than me, right? Both cap-wise and money-wise, so they should be able to work it out. But those are kind of the 2 main ways that I see it going, and that will tell you a lot about how they plan on moving this, making moves for this team. I would say that if it's front-loaded, that means that they are going to plan on still contending while developing. If it's backloaded, it means that they still can contend while developing, but it means that, hey, we may need to bring in another big piece while DeMar and Vooch are still on contract, so we want to leave us some space in the luxury tax. That's the two ways that I see it going. I know that was a long-winded ass explanation. Hopefully I made sense, and I didn't talk myself into a circle, which I do sometimes. As a Chicago resident, seeing CP come home and win a chip was a lovely sight. Hey, man. Yes, it was. Just confirming. Yes, Jordan Bell's 10. Okay, figured. It felt like it had been 10 days at this point. Zach and DeRozan are going to have big games tonight. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears. Durant ruined the league. LeBron made it worse. I love KD and dislike LeBron. This is just my take, though. I don't know if Durant ruined the league. Keep in mind, he was a free agent, and he went to the team that was able to offer him. Like, and I mean, the same can be said about the big three in Miami and things like that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. But the good thing is that what we're seeing now, right? You're seeing things like Chris Paul's Suns be able to make it. When you see things like the Bulls being able to contend right now, when you see teams like Giannis, like, I think we're going to get back to the thing of it's not about the arms race anymore. And then you see like what happened with the Lakers. They try to throw as many stars at it, and it's just not working. So, hopefully everything goes back around at some point. I'm not scared of the Milwaukee Bucks because they don't really present a fear in my heart besides that their power forward position. And honestly, I don't even think that scares me too much. Listen, I've said it before. Milwaukee doesn't put any fear in my heart. Brooklyn doesn't put any fear in my heart, even with Kyrie. So it is what it is. That may be my irrational confidence, though. I'm at Alfonso, not Alexander. Oh, okay. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Alfonso. We'll see. The Charlotte versus Chicago game is going to be really fun. That's a good national televised game. Yeah, for sure. That storylines, everything like that, that's on ESPN as well. That's the early game, thank God. So that one would be at 7:30 rather than 9. I've always said, in my ideal, I want to see Charlotte in the first round in the playoffs. For storylines, for everything, that's what I want to see. But yeah, Bulls Charlotte games are always circled on my calendar. Petty Roosevelt better make an appearance if the Bulls and Sky win in the same year. Oh my God, I'm gonna be hyped. Listen, Petty Row. Let's get a bounce back win tonight. Hopefully big enough so we can rest some games in the fourth tomorrow. And I agree with you, Blah. It's kind of what I said at the beginning of the stream. This is a good question. Would you put Pat at the 3 after DeMar contract ends, or will you leave him at the 4? It really depends on the makeup of the team. I mean, it's really not something that we can answer right now. The good thing is that you can do both. And we'll see how Pat will actually develops at the 4. We only got to see a very small glimpse of him at the 4, and even then he was injured, trying to figure out his body back and everything like that. But I had always thought, right, preconceived, right, this is just my thoughts, is that when they gave DeMar that 3-year contract, it was really so that they can overlap. Pat Williams could play the 4, can learn from DeMar, and then by the end of DeMar's contract, again, I didn't expect DeMar to have this type of season. But then by the end of DeMar's contract, you move Pat. Well, at that time you're versatile. However else you want to fill out. If you can bring in, if you have another person who you think's a starter quality power forward, you move Pat Will to the 3. If it's easier for you to find a wing to start at the 3, you move Pat Williams to the 4. It's good to have options. Laxus Garcia, I want the Knicks versus Bulls in the first round just because of Madison Square Garden. But in terms of storyline, I would love to see Hornets versus Bulls. Listen, fuck the Knicks. Fuck the Knicks, man. Would you make an appearance at a Bulls game anytime in the future? I was supposed to be at the Washington game, but that didn't happen. I don't know. I'll say this. I am definitely going to try my damnedest to make a playoff game. I don't care what I got to spend. I'm going to make a playoff game. But we'll see what happens in the back end of the season. DeMar needs to score off ball so he can get his rhythm back. He'll get it back. AC is important to the team, energy, and defensive intensity, because who wants to be outworked by a bald, accountant-looking white dude? Zach be like, oh, hell no, ball boy, not today. That is funny. Oh, don't matter what. What are you talking about? Hairline James is not the GOAT. He's the greatest player of his time, but he's not the GOAT. For all in all, that's a Miami and Philadelphia gives us a run for our money. Remember, we lost to them. We already know. We know you were going to go on to that. Vooch wasn't being Vooch and everything like that. Kobe White was out. Yeah, this is a completely different team than then, so we'll see. The fact that Giannis was able to win a title and still be favorites in the East is crazy. Shows super teams aren't needed. for sure. I'm excited to watch Cade play tonight. He's going to be a problem in coming years. Yes, he is definitely going to be a problem for the league in coming years, for sure. Why would PR appear when you're happy? You need a third persona for extreme. No. Petty Roosevelt isn't just about when I'm happy. Petty Roosevelt is about when it's to make a petty ass statement. So Petty Roosevelt makes his appearance not because I'm upset, but because the Bulls are the fucking champions and I'm about to eat some people alive. That's why Petty Roosevelt appears. Kendall Gill, if you don't take your opponent serious, he then becomes serious. Let's pound the pit. Listen, great words from a great man. That's all I got to say with that one. If we keep Kobe and Pat, do the Bulls have the core for a dynasty? Listen, it's too much to say. It's too many unknowns. We got to see how they both develop. To even say dynasty, dynasty it's heavy words, right? Do they have the core to be contenders for a long time? Probably. To have a player like that off the bench, especially if Lonzo's still here, Zach is going to still be here, and then see how P. Will develops. You have an Ayo as well. Yeah, I mean, the Bulls have a solid core to build around for years to come. Are you going to the All-Star game? Fuck no. Listen. I don't know if you listen. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm not from here. I've only lived here for 4 years. I am not from here. Cleveland is the armpit of America. Pittsburgh is the butthole of America. Two terrible ass cities, right? And I love the Steelers. I am not going to Cleveland for shit. For shit. I am not going to Cleveland except to drive through that motherfucker. You can't pay me. Cleveland, Ohio is where people go to die. That's what happens. Cleveland, Ohio. I am not going to Cleveland, Ohio for shit. Fuck the city of Cleveland. Fuck anybody who's from Cleveland. I don't give a flying fuck. Cleveland, Ohio I will not be going there for a goddamn thing. Ever. Ever. You can't pay me to go to Cleveland. People who live in Cleveland smell like depression and despair. Not going to Cleveland. It's not happening. I'm not going to Cleveland for shit. For shit. Please let us with Brooklyn Nets so I can piss off all the New York fans' heads and laugh in their face. Listen, it is what it is. 2006 Warriors were the best regular season team of all time. They were down 3-1 against Durant's OKC team. Durant loses and then proceeds to join the Warriors that team next season. That's not fair. Hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. What if D Rose, Wade, LeBron, and Chicago came to a reality? Listen, that's the thing, right? If you're on the right side of it, right? Because I won't even sit here and lie and try to virtue signal. If that would have happened in Chicago, I would literally been like, fuck everybody. I don't give a fuck. This is the super team. I wouldn't give a damn. I would not give a damn. Can't wait for Bobby. For the body play he's going to catch roasting. Listen, it's going to be fun. It is going to be fun. Cleveland is the armpit, but what is Chicago? Chicago is an amazing city. First of all, the culture in Chicago. For anyone who's into the art scene, right? The theater scene in Chicago, beautiful. Like, Chicago has and not even to mention the poetry and spoken word scene in Chicago, amazing. Cleveland has no culture. None. You can't pick out any one thing about Cleveland, Ohio and say, this is why I want to visit that city. There's a reason why when LeBron was in Cleveland, right? They said that it was like worth like almost $1 billion to just the income of like the city as a whole, because nobody wants to be in Cleveland, Ohio. Nobody. Uh-oh, did I miss something? Petty Rose out. Yep, he came out. We spit roasting on Cleveland. Listen, I hate Cleveland, man. I hate Cleveland. What's so great about Cleveland? I never anyone they're going to Cleveland for vacation. Listen, it's true, man. It's true. Laxus, yes, all Chicago fans would have no choice but to be LeBron fans if that team happened. Hairline James would have been a Chicago Bull. How'd you become a Bulls fan? So, again, I'm not from Columbus, Ohio. I'm not really from anywhere. I'm a military brat. My dad is from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. So growing up, it was all Chicago sports in my house all the time. That's how I became a Chicago Bulls fan. Cleveland is the graveyard for souls. Laughing my ass off, Freddie came out. Are you surprised? Yes, absolutely. But I'm happy, man. Let me not say I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a Ben Roethlisberger fan. Let me be clear on that. I'm a big Ben fan. So that's why. But, gotta love Ohio for your pain, bro. Listen, man. Listen, this shit is terrible. Petty Roosevelt sound like Joe Kim. Now we know another PR trigger point. He's like Joe Kim. No, we're talking about. Is it that bad from Argentina? Listen, I would rather go to Iraq than go to Cleveland, Ohio. That's all I'm going to say. The water in Flint, Michigan, let me take a gallon of that if it means I don't have to go to Cleveland, Ohio. Boogie, look at what you did, man. That shit is crazy, man. That shit is crazy. Bro, New Orleans is up there, too. The slander. Did you know Cleveland is the best city in Cleveland? Dang, not Pittsburgh. I love the Steelers make that city no cap for sure, man. For sure. How do you feel about Cleveland? Is how I feel about Gary Indy. Yo, man, heard you like Cleveland and true. Fuck no. Oh, man. All I know is LaMelo ain't staying after his first 4 years, and you think he would go to Detroit and team up with Cade? I think it's a possibility his managers. Listen, I don't want to get into speculation with our team. I'm definitely not going to do it with another team. We'll see, man. We'll see. Speaking of petty things, let's celebrate Nagy. Listen, the dance that I did when I got that alert, right? I was so happy that Nagy got his ass up. Send him to Cleveland. Send him to Cleveland. He should coach every football team at every high school in Cleveland, Ohio. Send his bitch ass to Cleveland. That's where he needs to go. That's where he needs to go. Whew, man. Cleveland's a good place to take a shit, yes. And no, not even that, because listen, you still would have to be in there. It's a good place to send the shit, not to take a shit in, because your body would still have to physically be in Cleveland, Ohio to take a shit in Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland, Ohio should literally be the landfill of America. Send all the trash, all the convicts, board that bitch up. Send everybody to Cleveland, Ohio. And all the shit, everything. Just go to Cleveland, Ohio. Are you a fan of Ben's when he enters bars? What? Oh, man, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Cleveland rock and roll. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Nothing you can point out in Cleveland, Ohio would make me go to Cleveland, Ohio. They could tell me the secret to life that Jesus himself has come back and touched down in Cleveland, Ohio, and all I have to do is drive to Cleveland, Ohio to talk to Jesus to get into heaven. I will be in hell gladly. I'm not going to Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not going to Cleveland, Ohio. It's not happening. It's not happening. I'm not going to Cleveland, Ohio, bro. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to Cleveland, Ohio, man. Like, fuck all that shit. I'm not going to Cleveland, Ohio. I'm not going to Cleveland, Ohio. Detroit is right up there, too, right? Detroit got some things, right? Detroit got some beautiful things. Literally, Cleveland, Ohio, when you go there, it's like there's a permanent cloud of desperation and despair and broken dreams. That is what Cleveland, Ohio consists of. That is what it consists of. Fuck that. Fuck that. No, it's not happening. It's not happening. Who said stop talking about my city? Quan TV, wait. Are you talking about Cleveland or are you talking about Detroit? I gotta know, because if you in Cleveland, I don't give a fuck. I'm flaming your city. You can be fam because you on the channel, but I'm still flaming the city, man. I don't care. I don't care. All right, that's it. The game's about to start. Let me get off the stream, man. I will see you guys at halftime for the halftime hangout, man. I'm glad we were able to have fun, man. I appreciate y'all so much. I will see you guys at halftime of this game, man. Like I like to end everything on Go Bulls, man. I love you guys. Peace.